Good morning. This is good morning and welcome to the DLLC webinar with Clover Q&A. Welcome to all of our participants that are joining us today, and thank you for taking time out of your day to do so. We are going to go through a few questions we've been receiving over the past couple of weeks and help to clear up some information for each of our agency participants. And so let's go ahead and get started. We've got a few of our Clover specialists with us that will be helping us today. So just as a general reminder for the webinar, all participants are in listen-only mode. If you have a question during the presentation, submit your question through the chat feature. The panel of experts will answer those questions at the end as time permits. If the question cannot be answered during our time together, we will collect the answer and respond to you. And then an online replay of this webinar will be available shortly after we complete our session today. So in order to get us kicked off, one of the questions we get most frequently is, how do I learn more about Clover? On your screen, you have in front of you several resources that we encourage you to take a look at. The first of those being clover.com. Next is help.clover.com, which you can find on the clover.com homepage. And then in addition to that, there is a First Data YouTube channel that has several feature videos, including the Clover story, Meet the Clover Station, and Check Out with Clover. Several videos that could help you understand a little bit more about the devices we are supplying. In addition to that, you have access to the Division of Liquor Control. Every Monday, there is a weekly activity report emailed to our stakeholder audience in which you will receive updates and information on the Liquor Modernization Project. There is an LMP website available at the website listed here on the screen. And then also the DLLC Help Desk is available to you to submit questions about the decision for retail point of sale systems. You can call 877-812-0013 or email liquoragencyhelp@com.state.oh.us. Again, these are all resources available to you. Up first, we are going to hand over to Carl Alston Jr., who is a Clover expert, and he is going to demonstrate for us several features of the Clover Station and Clover portal in regards to questions that have been asked of us. Carl, I'm handing this over to you.
Good morning, and thank you on behalf of Clover for this demonstration. First question that we have is, how do I search for an item on the Clover station? You should be able to see my screen right now. First, we will go into the Register app. And at the top of the screen, you will see a scan barcode or items. You can touch right there, and for any item that you have, you can type the name into it. It will appear there at the top of the list. And you can also pull the same function in the inventory app. For right now, once you touch the screen right there, the keyboard will pop up. So if I need to type in any type of item, as you can see, it will pop up. We have some different ways you can scan your inventory in and also put in different prices for different items. So if this is an item that you just want to ring in, you can just touch beer here. It automatically pops up. This particular beer item has a variable price, so you can put the price in and just hit add. It automatically goes to the left side of the register, so your employee can go to the next item. Also, this same function can be found into the inventory app as well. So if you're trying to search for an item that you want to increase the stock count on, or just to see what items that you have right there, you can also type the item in right there, and again, the keyboard does pop up at the bottom. Anything with the beer or name that you type in to the search bar field right there will populate right there. So you can see the beer, the 1/4 ounce lime beer salt, 1.5, the other 11.2 ounce as well. So those items will populate right there. But the next question that we have is, what is displayed or displayable on receipts generated by Clover? You as the merchant have your options on what you want to set and what you want to show. You can display a multitude of items, including logos, your custom header, footer, a barcode, a web URL, or your cashier's name, or other things that you may want to. You can choose what is displayed on the receipt by going to the Setup app, which is going to be the wrench and the screwdriver. And on the left side of it, you will see your payment receipts. So you have these options right here. And once you click on that payment receipts option, you will get a list of different things. And if you scroll on the screen, as you make changes to what you want, they will populate on the right-hand side. So it basically gives you a receipt preview. So if we don't want all our items to be shown as itemized, then we can uncheck the itemized information. And if you look on the side, just a subtotal, the tax, and the dollar amount shows. If I want to put the cashier's name right there, that cashier's name, whoever the employee is right there, shows up at the top. If I want to put the item name information right there, each individual item will show, just in case you want your customers for a better explanation of what they're buying as well. And if you look further down here, your custom footer, which is usually reserved for your refund policy or anything like that, you also have the option to put that down at the bottom of the receipt as well. You can put your barcode or any customer information that you have as well. The next question that we have is, will Clover be able to separate our liquor and non-liquor sales tax? Yes, you can separate your tax totals for liquor and non-liquor items in the Clover. You will first need to create a tax rate for each, liquor versus non-liquor items. You will need to apply the tax to each inventory item. So first we'll start out, we'll go into the setup again, and pretty much everything is self-explained. Right here, if you see taxes, you have your tax rates right there. So if you click into the tax rates, you can choose which one that you're going to make default on every item, as far as liquor items or anything that's non-liquor, such as groceries or anything like that. Your alcoholic items will be set under default to make sure that the correct taxes are taken out for tax accounting purposes. And also, if you need to specifically name a certain item with a tax, you'll just go to your inventory, and we'll take the 1.4 ounce lime beer salt right here. You can edit the name in the category fields as well, the prices and everything. But for the taxes, you just hit Edit Taxes, and the same amounts, if you want it for no tax, the Ohio sales tax, or a grocery tax, you just highlight the item and hit Save. Once you do that, that item automatically has that tax next to it. If you can see it, my screen right next to the tax category. So that particular item will have that grocery tax on it. It will not have the liquor tax on it. So that's going to be specific when you're trying to make sure, just in case you get audited, you have all your information correctly for your items that are being charged. Next question that we have is, we have thousands of non-liquor items. How can we transfer it to Clover without manually entering each order? Now, your inventory items can be managed through an import process using an inventory spreadsheet. This can be engaged on the web dashboard that you will have with your account, and a lot of the changes can be done there. As far as, if you can see my screen, you have items, you have your stock counts for merchants that definitely want to make sure that their stock is correct. You have your categories, you have labels as well. So anything that you need to do for your inventory that can be done on the machine, you can also do it a little bit quicker here on your web dashboard, which you will have access to as well. Once you're ready to import your spreadsheet with your items, you will just hit Import Inventory, and you have two buttons. If you want to export it, you can export it. If you want to import it, you can import it. And just in case you have any questions on importing your spreadsheet, your items that you're going to have, you can go to help.clover.com. Also, on the right-hand side of the screen, there is a little green question mark right here, and it will basically populate with all the necessary steps that you're going to need when you're going to import this spreadsheet that you have, because you need your categories in there, you need your items. It's also going to show you about how to edit your taxes anything else that you need in there. And if you look at my screen, it gives you pretty much the screenshots of everything that I just said as far as opening the inventory app, exporting the spreadsheet, and that's going to be important because when you first start out, this inventory field will be empty. So in order to download the spreadsheet that you're going to need, you just go to Export Inventory, and if you can see right there, click here to download the spreadsheet. You would fill in the items as far as what the price is, the price type, and it will pretty much walk you through. On helpclover.com, you have different references right here on the left-hand side of the screen to give you inventory spreadsheet definitions, how to export and edit the inventory spreadsheet, and how to import the spreadsheet back to your device. Now, the completion and maintenance of the inventory spreadsheet will assist in managing liquor and non-liquor items that can be easily imported through the web dashboard, which I just said. You can use this template to import and export up to 15,000 items at a time. You can have over 2,000 modifiers, depending on if you need those as well, 100 modifier groups, and 100 categories. We have a lot of businesses that have a lot of wine inventory and a lot of specialized liquor inventory, cordials, things of that nature. So all those items and modifiers that you do put in there, your taxes and everything, will sync to each Clover station that you have and can be used in the Register app and the Inventory app. I'm going to turn the presentation over to Mr. Reedy right now, and he will answer a few more questions.
Good morning. My name is Praveen. I'm going to ask the next question, or answer it. The next question is there a handheld scanning device for receiving or checking in inventory? Yes, there will be a scan gun device that will be used for receiving and checking in inventory. However, the scan gun provided with the Clover station is only for POS checkout. There will be a scan gun solution for receiving liquor items. That solution is forthcoming. I'm going to hand it over to Emily for the next couple questions.
Good morning. The next question is, can I keep my current First Data merchant account for use with the new Clovers? Yes, you can keep your current First Data merchant account. However, it will not be integrated with your Clover station. In order to manage the Clover station terminals provided by the liquor enterprise, agencies will be required to have a merchant account with Huntington Merchant Services First Data. Beginning in January of 2017, we will be reaching out to the individual agencies so that you can start the process to complete necessary forms to do so. The next question, do we need to open a different bank account for receiving credit card payments? No, liquor agencies can use their preferred checking account. However, Huntington Merchant Services can only guarantee next day funding should the agency have a Huntington checking account, and that's prior to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. On request, I can facilitate a Huntington Business Banking and Treasury Services introduction. If you are interested in a Huntington Business Banking introduction, please email me at emily.ebright@firstdata.com. That is Emily, E-M-I-L-Y, .ebright, E-B-R-I-G-H-T, @firstdata.com, and First Data is spelled out at FIRSTDATA.com. Now I'm going to hand it back over to Praveen.
Great, thank you, Emily. The next question is, do I need a PIN pad for the cashier to enter dollar amount and another PIN pad for the customer to enter a PIN? The answer is no, you do not need a separate PIN pad for the cashier and the customer. The PIN pad combined with the PIN pad app within the Clover station allows your Clover station to connect and receive card payments from the customer-facing PIN pad device to your Clover station. This combination supports credit and debit transactions, EMV, which is chip and PIN, and contactless transactions, including Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Visa PayWave, and MasterCard PayPass. Okay, the next question is, do I need any additional hardware to work with the Clover platform? Their answer is no, you do not need any additional hardware to work with Clover. You will only need the equipment provided by the Ohio Liquor Enterprise. There are peripherals available, however, to enhance your experience, such as a weight scale, for instance. Okay, that is all the questions that I had. I'll hand it back over.
Thank you, Praveen. Back to us over here at the state. We have had one question come in that we want to address. And give me just a short moment. I'm going to pull that question up, and Emily is going to help us answer. Emily, the question for you: what are the security protocols for the Clover device? Is there the ability to tier employee profiles with different levels of access dependent on their login?
Praveen, I might need a little help with this, but in terms of the Clover station in general with security, we use a system called TransArmor that protects the transaction, which actually tokenizes that transaction as well. And you can learn a little bit more about that on the Clover website. In addition to that security to protect the business, you can set up separate permissions within the Clover web dashboard, where you could set up your colleagues as employee, manager, or administrator. So that would give them access to the abilities to possibly do voids or not do voids, have access to the Clover app market, and a variety of permissions that way. Praveen, do you want to chime in a little bit and provide additional detail on that?
I could actually have Carl showcase and demo where in Clover you can actually perform that task.
Carl,
so I can hand it over to Carl. He can actually showcase you.
Carl, I just handed you presenting rights.
Thank you, Praveen. Actually, right here, you can see you will have in your web dashboard, and I will also show you on the device itself. Pretty much they reflect and mirror each other. In your employees app right here, it will show all your employees that you have for the business. It will also give you your permissions for these employees as their roles and what they're going to do. Right here at the top of the screen, you'll see 4 tabs: employees, roles, and permissions and setup. You would just touch permissions, and as you go down, you can pretty much go to access register right here, or access register and access reporting. If you just touch the little hyperlink right there, it will give you all the different things that you want your employees to do. Basically processing a manual transaction, adding a custom item to an order, applying custom discounts to an order, applying discounts to an order period, applying discounts to items, closing out orders, deleting an item from an order, deleting an order, opening a cash drawer manually, which a lot of businesses do to pay out vendors. You can specifically have it for your admins, your managers, and not employees, just in case, to perform manual refunds, also to refund payments, which is a very important thing to make sure that your drawers are coming up correct at the end of the day. You can also void transactions and give them the rights to do that as well. You have a lot of other functions in here to basically access the inventory, because you want to make sure that your inventory is secure and safe. You can give those permissions only to your admin and your managers there. Also with discounts, you have the rights to give them discounts right there as well. At the end of the transaction, and I'll go back to my final screen that I had, right here, if you give the customer, let's say they're going to pay $10.89 for the beer that we rang in, you have the different functions right here. The device can be turned, basically it's facing the merchant. It can be turned to the customer on a swivel stand, and it will show them the price of the item, the subtotal, and the tax on the item as well. So that way the customer can check and make sure their orders are correct. You will have all that information on there, and it'll make their experience a lot more pleasurable. Also, one of the next questions that I have is there a purchase order app within Clover for non-liquor items? You can do this one of 2 ways. You can, and I will show you right here, in order to make sure your reporting is correct, there's a few different ways that you can do that. There is not a purchase order app within the Clover for non-liquor items. You can set your items up, and let's say you're going to scan a lot of items. We already have those items in here, and that's going to be used with your scan gun. But if you're one of the businesses that you just want to ring people in quickly, you can make certain items individual items. And if you notice right here, I have a beer item right here, one for Lotto, one for tobacco products, and one for wine. So if I need to, let's say, ring in a quick tobacco product, I can hit that, go to put in the dollar amount, and automatically it's going to pop up on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, each employee will have their own individual PIN, and that's going to go back to what we said about permissions, because they're going to use that PIN number to log into the device to actually track their sales. You can track pretty much anything that they do into the system, and that's going to be an added security feature. So if you want to know who did a refund, who processed a particular order, it will show up under that person's name. Also, in the reporting section in here, for your security as well, you can tell exactly what each employee is doing for that day. So it will show you all of your reporting, and also down here the tender stats. And if you scroll a little bit lower, you can see your cash reports. You can also see the card type, but the main part right here is the employee stats. You will see each payment taken by that person, number of refunds if allowed, any service charges they've added, and their total payment. So that will show up per employee on each device that you have. So it'll make, at the end of the day, it'll make it a lot easier for you to reconcile your billing. Also, I have a question. Does Clover keep track of cash payments? Clover does keep track of cash payments, and right here, as I showed you before, if we look at the cash report, it will show you all your payments that you've taken in, your net cash sales. Anything also that you've taken out of the till as far as making change, anything that you've removed from the till as far as vendor payouts will also show right here. So if I need to put in one for, let's say, a vendor payment, let me pay these two items out, and I will just do a quick cash payment. If you have a merchant that, a vendor that comes in and you need to do a cash payment, and you can set this to back to what I was speaking of before about opening the cash drawer manually. You can hit open cash drawer. The screen will give you a few options. You have the remove cash button, you have add cash, and you're just going to highlight each one, or you have other. If you have a vendor coming in, you can hit remove cash. Let's say the vendor is charging you $100 for maintenance on the building. You can put $100 in there. And if you touch the line right there, again, the keyboard will pop up, and you can put in the correct reason of why your vendor is getting this money. So we'll just do vendor payout for right now. And I'll press continue. That cash register will open. It'll go ahead on and open for the person that's opening it up, and they'll be able to take the cash out. Now that has been calculated as well in your cash reports, which I'll go right back here down at the bottom of the screen. It shows your cash payments, but if you look right down here, it says cash removed. So that cash will be calculated into your cash reports. It's going to be $100 less because you removed that cash. So it's going to keep track of that as well. So for accounting purposes, tax purposes, you can have that money to know exactly what you've done. Another question that I have is, can a manual sale be performed for a product not in inventory? Okay, yes, you can do a manual transaction on here, and that's what we would call it. You can touch manual transaction, put in the dollar amount, and let's say this is a seasonal item. It's going to be $25. It's still going to be taxed, and you have the option to uncheck the tax break or tax it. I'll add tax on it. And right here, if this is something, a seasonal item, you can go ahead on and put seasonal item in there, and it will go ahead on and calculate the item for you. Once you hit charge, it will automatically bring you to the payment screen, and you have your options for paying the item out, either swiping the credit card or entering your PIN, which is up at the top. You have the dollar amounts right here as well, so it's going to give you the exact dollar amount, $5 over, $15 over, or you can do a custom payment cash out as well. Another question that I have is, how are checks processed in this system? We have the TeleCheck app, which is a free app that all merchants will receive, and you can put those payments in by normally ringing in the customer. You would have the different payment options right here for TeleCheck. You would press the TeleCheck app, the button for it. It will bring up the TeleCheck app right here, and it shows you what type of checks you can process on here, any type of specialty items that you want to use, or if a customer is not present and they've dropped a check off through your mailbox, or just paying out an item. And that will be more of a training question once we actually show you how to process payments for right now. So we'll stick to just showing you where to go for it. But that is a tender type that you can use, and it does have a different variety of checks that you can accept. One of the last questions that I have is, can you set reorder points for non-liquor SKUs? With that, that is a part of the stock. That is a part of your stock. That is a part of your inventory as well. There are certain third-party apps that can do this for you. Basically, they will take over your inventory for you. They do purchase orders. They will send out anything that you need. It will deplete your stock count for every sale. It also can ask vendor relations, send emails out for purchase order to those items. It can also receive those. That would be a third-party app. And it can also be found, the one particular app that I'm speaking of in particular is called Mission Control. That can be found on helpclover.com or clover.com. If you put in inventory or just click the inventory icon on there, it will break down all the different inventory apps that you have besides the free inventory app that you have here. But if you're going to really want to check your inventory levels, include purchase order systems, and do everything in one to make it more easier for yourself, I do suggest that you take a look at the Mission Control app. A very good price, and it is very easy to use, especially if you have multiple locations as well. So it does function that way as well, from transferring inventory to making sure your inventory counts are correct. Now, I don't see any more questions, and if that is all, I will turn it back over to Emily or Mr. Harry.
Hey, Carl, actually, we had one question come in. Do you have
Sure.
a method for issuing gift certificates? Could you answer that question for us?
Okay, can you repeat the question again for me, please, ma'am?
Do you have a method for issuing gift certificates?
Actually, we do have a app called ValueLink, and those are gift certificates. But nowadays, with the times changing, everything is either digital or it's going to be done on a card. Since most people have smartphones right now, you can pretty much send the gift certificates to the phone. So they are electronic gift certificates. If you've heard of the app called Gift, it's the same process. So if you want to actually have gift certificates on there for your program, you can speak with Miss Emily, and she can make sure she can get that taken care of. But if you see right here on my screen, you will see it where it says gift cards. And if you touch that app right there, your information, once you set it up, is automatically going to be loaded into your particular gift card app. And as you can see on the screen, it will give you all the terms and everything that you have for your refunds, anything that you're going to do, how to make sure that your payments are linked to your account. It will give you all that information. And again, those options are available. You can go to helpclover.com or clover.com or help.clover.com, and if you put in gift cards, that app will immediately show up. It'll give you a breakdown with any pricing or anything that you need. Miss Emily can go over that with you as well. But it's a very good thing if you're trying to get repeat customers into your store or keep a lot of foot traffic. You can have those gift cards, especially for the holiday season. They're a great thing to have as well for your customers. Do we have any more questions as well, Miss Emily?
Carl, we had one more. Does the system take food stamps?
Actually, the system takes the EBT cash payment at this time. The EBT for food is coming. That has to be authorized by the state and federal government, so they're waiting on that right now. But the EBT cash part has been authorized, and you can accept that payment as well. So if we're going to ring in any, let's say, food or snack item, which would fall under that category, if I wanted to hit pay, that method would be right down here at the bottom. It would be another tender type that you would have right here. And once you press it, it will automatically go on and ask you to swipe the card or enter in the card number. So that is another tender type that you can use, and there's a difference. EBT Cash is totally different from EBT Food. So it does have EBT Cash right now. EBT Food will be coming soon in the next quarter, and that will be another option on the machine as well. Any more questions, Emily?
Carl, let me ask you one more. We have several questions about keying in the product price by hand. So essentially pressing the number $1 for a bag of chips versus using the scanner to scan the SKU on that bag of chips. Is that a possibility?
You can use it. What I've done is most of the time you want to keep your items pretty much for your accounting purposes is on here. I've worked with one of the other gentlemen who was a salesman of different POS stations, and a lot of them are set up to where they still scan items in, but they also have certain items that they sell a lot of. And we can take and manipulate basically your inventory and put those items at the top. So if you know you sell a lot of beer products, or you sell a lot of lotto tickets, or tobacco products, or certain wines, you can have those up at the top of the screen. Like if we have right here, let's say tobacco products, I can put that in right there. So it easily goes in, it will add it to the same side, and if you have another product, you can just go on and scan that product in as well. So let's say that we scan this 1 ounce Fritos chili cheese, and for right now, I just touched it, but that will be the same part of it. So you have two different ways to input the price for your customers, and we try to make it efficiently, do it efficiently as possible for you. Any other questions?
Carl, I think we're going to let you off the hook for now. Thank you so very much. You've done a great job running through these demonstrations. There have been a few questions that I want to address on our behalf. One point of clarification for the inventory. The Clover stations delivered to you from the liquor enterprise will come preloaded with liquor. So you as an agency will not have to load the liquor into your system. The system will already have that liquor available when it arrives to be installed at your store. Secondly, the Huntington Merchant Service fees. Those fees were emailed, a document with those fees outlined was emailed this past week. So check your email for the weekly alert. The weekly email alert that arrives in your inbox from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control. So check that, and if you do not see the file with those fees included, you can email emily.ebright@firstdata.com. Again, Emily, E-M-I-L-Y, .ebright, E-B-R-I-G-H-T, @firstdata.com, and Emily can be sure to send you that document, but please do check your email, as that document was emailed from the Division of Liquor Control as well. I believe that also there was one question about how will monthly price increases from liquor be handled. That feature is also being integrated into the Clover stations that will be delivered to you, and those price increases and how to take those price increases will be coming to you momentarily, coming to you shortly. So that will be delivered to you soon on how to do that. So I think we have answered as many questions as we possibly can. Thank you to Clover, Carl especially, and to all of you for joining us, and we will speak with you soon.